We're live. You won't believe.
We're live. Yeah, we're live. Okay, we're live.
I can't believe it. Every day it gets us. Good evening, everybody. It's Neil Kilbey and
Peter Schmitz.
And today we're going to continue with Claude Hopkins transforming, scientific advertising. We're transforming profits. I'm reading.
Yeah, get it straight.
Okay, Claude Hopkins, scientific advertising, and we're now on chapter 13, which he quite simply calls use of samples. But what we're talking about, it's not a good title, is it?
No, it's not.
What we're talking about is getting somebody to use your product so that they can see that it lives up to your claims, because that will be help to convert quite naturally. Now, there's lots of things we could say in different areas, but there was one line in this whole chapter
read that.
was just a piece of brilliance and applies to everything. So I'm going to read it slowly for Peter's benefit. Right, here we go. Give samples to interested people only. Give them only to people who exhibit that interest by some effort. Give them only to people whom you have told your story. First, create an atmosphere of respect, a desire, and expectation. When people are in that mood, your sample will usually confirm the qualities you claim. I think that's one of the best things I've ever read in such short space about that sort of thing. He's, we don't just give away samples, which is the first thing that most people think.
Well, people do think that, but let's get clear here. So if you're using the packaged goods, like food samples, in a grocery store, they give them to everybody that walks by, and 99% of the people never buy it. So using Claude's statement, they didn't do any effort to get the sample, and they know nothing about the story unless perhaps they talk to the person. I mean, those are really popular at Costco as an example. But the other side of it that we talked about, Neil, is in the consulting world, when you or I do a discovery call and invest $1,000 of our time with a client, they get a really good sample of what it's going to be like and what we can deliver, or what results we can do for them. So they know our story, and they're pretty interested at that point, typically. So Claude was right on 100 years ago. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, people are still people. And like you say, you don't just give it to anybody. Somebody has got to have jumped through a few hoops, proven that they're the right potential client for you, and people who you've told your story. It's not just anybody. There's lots of little barriers there. If somebody is talking to ourselves, we need to know that they're in a business for themselves, that they've got a couple of years of experience, that they're in excess of $500,000, but more probably in the $3 to $20 million range of revenue, and that we can see that they are a genuine business, and then we can see genuinely whether we can help them, and that's our investment into the conversation.
Right, okay. And that's a sample, basically. And you see a lot of authors that on Amazon example, you get the first chapter or 2 or 3 to sample to see if you like the book. You're there looking for the book. You're giving the sample to a reader that's on Amazon looking for a book. So it's a good situation to give a sample, and then they try to sell you the book, obviously. So
that's a brilliant example, because if the person who's reading it has had to invest their time into the situation, so they're not going to do that unless they genuinely are going to potentially buy the book, because most people on this side of the pond anyway wouldn't just read the first chapter of a book just so that they can read the first chapter of a book.
Well, and the other thought is, because I wrote a book, and the first chapter was designed to draw you into the story. So if I read the first chapter of a book on Amazon and it doesn't draw me in, I'm not likely to buy the book, right? So
yes, but you were likely to buy the book if it did draw you in.
Yeah, of course.
So that's the difference. A lot of the time, even in this chapter, Claude says, don't just give it. If children aren't liable to buy your goods, okay, don't give them samples. Because kids will just go and get as many samples as they can.
Yeah. Samples are great. That's what they go for. Yeah.
Exactly. So the whole point is that I'm going to reiterate them. First of all, give samples only to people who are interested, to who have given some effort and to express that interest, okay, and only to people who have heard your story.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is give somebody to something and then try and tell your story. That's all a little bit post, it's too late. If they've already got it in their hands and they're walking away, and then you're desperately trying to tell your story. So it's got to have been in proper order. Listen, anything else you wanted to add to that, Peter?
No, I think what Claude says is great, and we've summed it up really well. And everybody's situation is unique, so you got to kind of apply the principles to your situation. And perhaps you shouldn't be giving away samples at all. Maybe it's just a waste of time and money.
No, that's absolutely true. But you do have to test. You have to go and find out and see what is the most profitable way that something works, and that's something that you were involved with for many years, and we still are. So you're always testing what is the most profitable way of doing things. So, well, that's superb, Peter. Thank you very much. If anybody's interested, we will be doing this again tomorrow. So, all right. Cheers, everybody. Thank you, Peter.
Cheers.